throws for the end zone. Touchdown, Parker. Ripped off by Xavien Howard. Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! That's hard work.
What's good, Finn Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason back here to preview this massive division rival game we're about to walk into this weekend. I want to shout out everyone that's already shown up. You're spending some of your Friday night with me. Appreciate you. Whatever continent you're on, wherever you are, whatever time it's at. I mean, if this is in the morning with your cup of coffee, good morning. If this is at 3 a.m. with your midnight snack, I hope you enjoy your snack, and I hope you have good prospects when you open up that fridge. And if you're here right now, I appreciate you spending some time with me right now, guys. Just want to shout out everyone I can go up to, and I know FSU, baby. What's going on? Omar Brown, Ronnie, Shade Raoun, Tommy Brinkley, Powerhouse, Poseidon, DM Fins, Armando, Vicken, Chad, Samuel, MG Taxman, Yawa, Tilly, how are you doing? Mercenary, George, how are you doing, homie? Jeff Premont, Miami Kid J, how's everyone doing tonight? Hope everyone is having a good night. I want to know how y'all excited. Like, I'm actually hyped for this game. I think this is going to be such almost like a proving grounds of sort, even though it's at home, to see what Tua can do against a Bill Belichick defense. Doesn't matter. I don't want to talk about what the talent level is right now. You still got a defensive guru and genius manning what all those pieces. And I know Stephon Gilmore isn't having the season he had last year, but he's still deadly on the corner. So, DM, it's 6:30 where you are. Damn, are you on the West Coast, my dude? Because it is 9:30 on the East Coast. Miami Kid J, you're in Dallas, eh? A lot of people out there in Texas show love. Yeah, we'll get into that, Jeff. Fife Dog, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a minute. Hope all is well. Yeah, I just can't wait. I think this is going to be, you're really going to be able to start gauging where Tua is at, because you got 6 games worth of tape. I think that's enough for a guy like Belichick to start nitpicking and picking away, see what he has going. So it's going to be a very interesting test. Sam Haskins, how you doing? Drew Booth says he's not hyped for this game. Regular hype. Man, I get up for every Tua game. Let's go. So it's going to be, there's a lot of things we're not going to see. We'll get into when we get into the keys that we didn't see from week 1. So it's going to be really interesting to see how everything holds up. Guys, as you're coming in, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're watching this whenever the time it is again and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, pound that subscribe button. And guys, I'm like fresh off Baby 2. I literally just finished recording the episode of The Finish Line, my show with Richmond Webb and Reason. There you go. With Richmond Webb and Mr. Ballgame. That'll be coming out tomorrow in the early morning. After I'm done this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be submitting everything. Speaking of ball game. Okay, true. So I'm gonna, the new episode of The Finish Line will be up on iTunes and Spotify early tomorrow morning. So you'll be able to listen to that. Upstate New York, Sam, how much snow did you get? Because people were hyping me up for this big snowstorm. I didn't get that much. Yes, Gasecki was at practice again, Miami Kid J. There's a lot of good news today in terms of people returning. Ronnie says, all I want to know is, will our defense finally snatch Cam Newton's chain? Brother, I don't want to just snatch his chain. I want to snatch his integrity, his confidence, his will to win this Sunday. I want to crush Cam Newton, all right? Looking tired tonight, brother. Reason. Yeah, I am, George. I am exhausted, brother. Exhausted. Once I get through this show, I'm just going to go up, with the wife and chill with the baby. Daughter's down. Mama Reason had to go back home today. Shout out to her because I know she tunes in. I just told her from the get-go when I started this, when I had like no subscribers, just don't comment, all right? Just don't comment. So I know she still watches like here and there. So don't comment. Tell me in person when you see me Sunday, when you relieve me from daughter duties for me to stream for all these good people. All right, let me know. Okay, so Pratam, we'll go into it right now. You're having a hard time finding the finish line. You spelt it right, my dude. I'm gonna describe it to you right now. Let's bring up. Give me 1 sec, guys. Just because, when someone's looking for it, you gotta put it out there. Especially when they got your boy Reason ad reading like a madman. So it's simple. All you have to do is just go into iTunes or go into Spotify, whichever one you use, and then easy. I want you to Google in the search bar, put Dolphins Brawl, like you see right there up top, and then basically Dolphins Brawl is going to come up. Go and then here you go. All these, the ultimate test, back to winning ways, familiar foes and stunts, bring on the Broncos, number 5 pick against the number 6 pick. Those are all the episodes of the finish line. So you can go peep that easily. All right. So just go check it out. It's on. You can do the same thing on iTunes. Just search Dolphins Brawl, and then the finish line is under it. All right, guys. So if there's any confusion, there you go. Okay, so you're at 2 hours east out of Buffalo, only 3 inches where I'm at. Yeah, we didn't get very much either. Yeah, I'm not gonna sleep. Yeah, thanks though. How you doing, Scott? How you doing tonight? So, Pratam, that's how you can find the finish line. New episode will come tomorrow morning. Hopefully, with your cup of coffee, you can listen to it. That'd be a cool model for the channel. It's simple. I like all 22 or nothing because, one of those sayings is, all or nothing, right? And it's all 22 or nothing, baby. That's what it is over here. That's how I live. If the defense stopped Clyde Edwards, I think we can stop Cam. We'll get into that. The thing is, it's a better committee. You know what I mean? And they're way more committed to the run. Like, they got 210 yards on us for a reason, but I do think the RPO, you just need better read and recognition. And I think Landon Roberts is at a better stage right now. I think Jerome Baker still is what he is. And you saw he's best deployed this season, like I've been saying all along the line of scrimmage, either off the edge or in between tackles, blitzing. That's how he's best used. So, we'll get into that. I think, I'm not really too worried about the passing game. Again, the running game, right? Like, we'll get into it again, but you kind of want Cam to try and beat you. And we're gonna need, again, we'll get into it, but I know everyone is happy Gesicki's back and all these things, but there's still things we need to go our way offensively. Because again, I think I'm gonna have to rehash some memories, and some of them might be bad for people, but we're gonna have to go over some things and refresh some memories, right? So people just need to I know Vicken said earlier, people need to not forget the Denver game, and that's a good point because Vic Fangio is a very good defensive mind, but Belichick's even better. So, and Belichick can do a lot more with a lot less. So we're going to see. It's going to be a very, very good test for this offense. I think defensively, McDaniels, people want to throw at, well, if you look at Cam Newton, he's efficient for what he's been doing. Miss me with that. A guy throwing 67 yards a game ain't going to beat us. And Daniel says a good thing, playoff mode activate. This is a playoff game. I remember right before December started, I told all of y'all that when you talk about months that matter in the regular season, December is always that month. December matters if you're in the playoff race. We are into playoff football without, the branding being put on the football field, right? We don't have an AFC playoff logo on the football field in between the 40 and the 45 or whatever right now. But you need to play like there is. Actually, you need to play like there's a Super Bowl logo, because this every week from here on out is our Super Bowl in the situation we're in. Because I remember a couple weeks ago, after we had that win going into the KC game, right before we played the KC game, I told everyone on this platform, I said, listen, you control your own destiny. Oh, well, I had people push back in the comments. Well, teams can still lose. I said, no, you control your own destiny, because if you win four straight here, you're in. Well, now we really do control our own destiny, because if we win 3 straight, we're in. So it starts with the Patriots. I expect Tua to outperform Herbert against the Patriots and against the Oakland Raiders in prime time. That's what I expect. Will we see it? Different story, different offenses, etc. But that's what I expect. So, that's where I'm at. This team win out, go 11-5, because we all thought losing to KC was heartbreaking because it showed how close and how on the cusp we are right now. Guys, think of how heartbreaking it's going to be if we go 10-6 and don't make the playoffs with 7 seeds, an extra seed added to the situation. That is going to be heartbreak. That is going to be the definition of heartbreak. Everybody's going to wonder what if. You know why? Because of the quality of the defense. You'll hear on the finish line, I asked Richmond and I asked Ballgame, is this a championship caliber defense? Because I believe it is. The scary thing is we are missing that zero tech nose, that run stuffing, gap filling nose, 2 down nose, and we're missing that middle linebacker, the field general of our defense. We're missing those 2 pieces, and I still think we have a defense that could win the Super Bowl. The problem is the run games. And like I've said before, we match up terribly if we have to face a Derrick Henry, because they proved last year they can win games with Tannehill only have to throw 6, 7, 8 times. That would be scary. So there's certain run games we can't match up with, but there's certain run games we can contain. It would just become matchup based, this defense. But for the majority pass heavy, pass happy offenses, we can beat you easily. No problem. We can beat you. I believe that. I'll tell you this, the Chiefs would not want to see the Miami Dolphins the second time around. It would be an even tougher fight. It would be an even bigger dog fight. I'm telling you right now, because what's crazy? They would go break down the film against us, and they'd be like, they haven't even seen what we throw at Mahomes in the playoffs. That's all I got to say. So, but if you put those 2 defensive positions, if you get that gap filling, run stuffing, 2 down nose tackle, and that alpha linebacker who is reliable in coverage, but is also a wall in the run game, all of a sudden, now teams will be lucky to get 100 on us. That's what I'm just saying. Those 2 pieces, you shore up that run game, that middle, that gut. It's just like on offense, right? You got to shore up center, and I still think we are I still think we're a tackle away. I don't care what anyone tells me. So, you got to shore up that gut. You shore up that gut defensively, and oh boy, this defense is not only that defense. Here's the thing. That defense would go from what I'm saying this year about it being championship caliber to, guess what? We can win championships off of it, like the way the Legion of Boom did. Win a championship. Just saying. And went to 2. The Ravens. Yeah, I know how far apart their championships were, but how historical were those defenses? And if you get those pieces right in this offseason, think about it. You got 3 years of that with Byron Jones's contract, and you just keep Xavien Howard to that point as well. You got a 3-year window. There's no way you can't tell me we can't go to back-to-back or 3 straight Super Bowls. Whether we win them all, that's up to the players to execute. But you can't tell me we don't have the capability to do that. I'm just saying. Scott, yeah, Austin Jackson is who I told all y'all was. If you go back to my offensive tackle big board at the beginning of this channel's inception, all the way back there, Austin Jackson was my number 10 tackle. He was my number 5 left tackle, but number 10 overall tackle. All right. And that's because I loved this right tackle class this past season. I like a few right tackles in this class, but it's not nearly as deep in terms of natural right tackles as last class was, but I digress. Austin Jackson, the one thing you can find solace in, and this is what I said when they made the draft pick, is through his development, because the one thing is, at his age, he hasn't developed what I like to call that grown man strength. It's scary, but he hasn't fully developed as a man yet. He's still a kid. And so when he develops like that, the good thing is he's not from the blind side, right? He's from the side where you can see all the oncoming traffic, right? Tua can avoid that. Tua has shown he has the pocket savviness, presence, and awareness that he can step off, use his body, the twitch in his head, the twitch in his shoulders, his hips, wherever on his body, and he can fake one out, step up, and make a throw. So it's the blind side you got to worry about. I still don't think Hunt's the answer. Hunt, and for those people like Hunt's been okay. Hunt's been okay, but Hunt would be great as a guard. What do you want? An okay tackle or a great guard? I want the great guard, and then go find another tackle. Come on, man. Yeah, I don't think the Jackson pick sucks because with Kinley too, right? I think with Kinley, I think the foot has been a serious issue. If you go look at the first half before he popped off on the injury report with that foot injury, he's been a different player. That's when he's hit the rookie wall, right after the San Francisco game. If you go look at Austin Jackson, night and day. Now to Jackson's thing, I can tell Kinley's got foot issues because, he would have issues here and there pulling because he doesn't have the fleetest of feet. But now he's having just straight up problems in terms of recovery speed with his feet. He can't make up anything. Like he takes a half step the wrong way, he's done. And I just don't think he's there right now. And in terms of Jackson's getting beat the way I told everyone he was getting beat by the AJ Epeneses, the Julian Aquaras, right? The Bradley and I's. All these guys I told you how we're beating, the guys who can convert, right? That power, that power game. Those are the guys. And coming across Jackson's face, what are they doing? Bradley Chubb started. You start coming across his face. Now it's out there. Noah, I think, was a pick where I still think they should have taken an Antoine Winfield at that pick, especially now with Bobby McCain. We'll get into that, possibly being out this weekend. We have no depth there as well at the safety position, so you could have afforded doing that because now you're going to have to dress it in. You're going to have to get depth in this offseason somehow, some way through draft or free agency. You could have done it either way. At 30, you could have got a blue chip like Antoine Winfield. So, Noah was kind of, I think they projected what they could do with him in terms of Play-Doh, how they could mold him as a player and shape him, because he only had, right, just around 2 years at the position. I believe it's about a year and a half, 2 years at the position from when he was converted to wide receiver at Auburn to a corner. I think he had a year and a half when he was converted. So he's at about like the 2 year mark, just over 2 year mark right now playing that position. When you look at the athleticism, when you look at the tools in the toolbox, I could see why they salivate. And that's why I predicted on the other platform when we took him that that's what the pick was going to be before the pick came across, was because if you go back to the Auburn day, you can literally do this research yourself. And this is what I said to EM when he used to be up here, the telltale sign that they love that kid was when they were at the Auburn Pro Day, they were spending more time with Noah Igbenogany than they were with Derek Brown, and Derek Brown was a bigger need technically. Just saying, right? That showed you two things. A, they weren't going to invest in the defensive tackle high, and B, they must have been really high on this Noah Igbenogany kid. I just couldn't pronounce his name at the time. If you go and find the receipt, I literally say that corner from Auburn whose name I can't pronounce. That's literally what I said. And yeah, I agree. Needham is going to get re-up. Needham has done a fantastic job adjusting to life. The laundry was out on the field. The yellow laundry was out on the field a little bit to start life off as a corner, but he's found a way to settle into the position. He's done a fantastic job. Noah was a great pick, and I agree with you, Daniel. It was pushing X out or as a replacement. I think that's the thing, right? Think about it, Daniel. Do the math, my friend. Daniel, do the math with me, okay? Let's sit here and do it. I've already thought this out. This is how they're smart. This is why they did that. They love the tools in the toolbox, like I said. They love the upside, but here's the thing. What runs out at the time Noah enters his fifth-year option? Byron Jones. Byron Jones signed a 4-year deal in free agency. So when Byron Jones' contract is up after year 4, Noah Igbenogany will be entering 5th-year option. They're literally saying we don't need you for 3 or 4 years. That's why they took him so high. They're saying, what's this pick going to be worth in 3 or 4 years under our grooming? They're not saying day one. Like, that's what I'm saying. People didn't understand the projection of that pick. That was a projection pick. That was them being smart, saying, hey, we got this plethora of picks right now, all these years away from when all these big money free agents are going to be out. What's the valuable positions we're going to need to possibly fill in that we can't replace when Tua is going into his option year and we know we might have to re-up our franchise quarterback? Just saying. That's, they're trying to play that. I think, and I think X is, I'm on record. I think they're going to extend X to line up with Byron. Byron and X will leave around the same time. Especially, Scott, I'll be doing mock drafts at the end of the season. When X is like, if they play, this defense is playing at the level it's playing at, X will see out the remaining 3 years after this that Byron Jones has on his contract. Brenham, that's a good point. They're trying to develop corners, right? Because here's the thing. Corners are more valuable to us than the normal average team, other than like the Patriots. Why? Because we kind of take the Patriots' way. We convert corners to safety as well. It's not just a corner team, right? So corner is far more valuable to us than just being a boundary guy or a slot guy. If you have the skill set, we will look at what Rowe, safety, right? But he's a converted corner. Bobby McCain, nickel corner, converted to safety. Same thing has happened over at the Patriots with some of their safeties. It's a trend. So that's why they're saying Noah, if his athleticism is off the charts and his skills off the charts, if he doesn't work out as a boundary guy, maybe he can be a safety. Just got to get his angle game proper, get his read and recognition where it needs to be. That's what you just need to do. So and CB is one sure position in football that it's a young man's game, and Noah at the end of a rookie contract will be 24. Exactly, Daniel. Exactly. And let me hit you with this, Daniel. Okay, let me hit you with something. I take 2 years to develop this kid. You don't start 2 more years. You don't start seeing what he really can show you till year 4. Options about to kick in year 5. Year 5, I kind of let him loose. Guess what? That extension is a lot cheaper and he's groomed a lot better than where I just let him loose in year 2. Right? So it's a game, right? You got to play the game, man. Don't let the game play you, brother. So you're dead on, man. So when you re-up him at 24, you get him on the low. You still pay him a good pick. I think Swift, brother. Bro. You want me to go there, Michael? Jonathan Taylor's a better pick. Jonathan Taylor's a running back 1. Jonathan Taylor been balling out. Jonathan Taylor was a better pick. Just saying. I'm not gonna lie. Antoine Winfield, better pick. But they're just projecting it. So, I'm not, you don't trade back. You take Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's probably a better pick. I'm not denying that. I'll agree with DeAndre Swift. I'd take Jonathan Taylor over all of them. But, yeah, I'd take DeAndre. But Antoine Winfield, I would take over all the running backs, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, damn, that guy's a that guy's a game changer. But imagine if we had Jonathan Taylor right now, albeit we don't have the offensive line the Indianapolis Colts don't have. Yo, Taylor can catch, man. Taylor can definitely catch. So we just need offensive line help. I wish Ruiz didn't go to the Saints. That would have been the move at 26. Cesar Ruiz got our center. Boom. Rocked out. Let's go. So, anyways, let's get into it, guys. Again, appreciate each and every one of you spending your Friday night. Let's get into this preview. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new here. Turn on that, click that little bell, turn on notifications for whenever go live. If you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Finside. Become a Finside the NFL Patreon, patreon.com/Finside the NFL. I mean, we've got 18 Patreons, and I appreciate each and every one of you that just show up to watch the show, let alone all of you that through the super chat, through PayPal, through Patreon, open up your wallets. It's much love. It's much respect. I hope all of y'all are blessed for just, showing appreciation for the hard work that goes into this stuff. So Infinite Trauma, Rhino Sith, Fake Spike, Shake Money, Joe B, KA All Day, Ramon Casillas, Seth, Mr. Two-Bit, Slim Pickens, of course, Big Red Dino, Big Time, Marino's Goat, Conflict, Keith Davis, your boy Trev, Josh, Tranquilize. Appreciate all of our Patreons. Thank you for showing so much love. And here's some love back to you. Use code FINSIDE for 20% off at patchvibes.com. They got that new 2-ish shirt out that they're rocking. It's a nice one. Grab some official Finside the NFL merch, teespring.com/stores/Finside the NFL. And then this is the year, 10% off with code FINSIDE. This is the year, fingear.myshopify.com. Use that code, 10% off. And let's get into that preview, guys. Hold on, let me see. Ball game B. Let me know. Okay. Here we go. Let's get into this. Let's start off with, as usual, let's go over that weather report, man. Let's go over that weather report. Because you know what, guys? This is why it matters as we get into December. I'm going to explain. We talked about this on the finish line. So at kickoff, temperature will be 79. It's going to feel like 82. At quarter 2, it's going to be 80, feel like 83. At quarter 3, it's going to be 81, feel like 83. And then again, it's going to be 81 and feel like 84. Quarter 4, the humidity is going to fluctuate all the way from 67 at kickoff all the way down to 63 by quarter 4. But here's the thing, guys. They're coming from Massachusetts. This is going to be a culture shock. All right. This is the perfect opportunity in December to wear them down in that Miami humidity because they ain't going to be ready for it. We are. This is your perfect opportunity. So, everyone, I know some people are interested in the weather, and this is why they're interested in the weather weekly, because now when we get into December, it matters, especially that weather report January 3rd. Tune in here to find out what it's going to be like in Buffalo. I can only imagine. But I digress again. Um, this is going to matter. This is, you win that type of possession battle, you can wear down that New England defense, and that offensive line that's been pretty sturdy for the most part. You can start wearing them down in that heat. So it matters, guys. And then heading into a few announcements, when you go into the COVID list, a few things have changed. So Matt Breida a few days ago was officially activated off the reserve COVID-19 list. He is now added back to the running back room. Jamal Perry, he as well has been activated as of today, as of 4:35 Eastern. He's been activated off the reserve COVID list. Well, reason why does a guy like Jamal Perry matter when the fact of the matter is the slot is now locked down by Nick Needham? This is why it matters, because Jamal Perry has the ability to play single high center, basically be your center fielder if you go single high, if you go a single high look defensively. So Jamal Perry is, as sad as it sounds, the safety depth right there. And possibly, guys, the reinforcements could be on the way this weekend, and it matters. It matters big time. So let's get in to what Reason's talking about with that. And when you look at our injury report right now, Salvin Ahmed looks like he's going to be back, guys. So Matt Breida and Salvin Ahmed could both be back. Eric Flowers, he could be back. He's listed as questionable. He's been limited all week. Mike Gesicki, he did not practice on Wednesday. He was been limited every day since, and it sounds like by his Instagram post, he is going to go. That is huge for us. All right. And why these ones are underlined, guys, that just means that it changed from did not practice to limited. Look at no participation to limited, right? So Jerome Baker didn't practice all week, but he was limited today. Jakeem Grant, he was limited all week. Bobby McCain, he did not practice. He's been limited the last 2 days, so he's questionable. Devontae Parker battling that hamstring. He's going to try and go. Landon Roberts and Kyle Van Noy, two of our better run stoppers, are looking like they're going to be good to go this week. So against a team that rushed against us the way they did last time, it is going to be huge. I mean, they had over 210 yards rushing against us last time, and I would say Landon Roberts and even Kyle Van Noy, who was missing tackles early on, they're in different places than where they were early in the season. So I expect better results in the run game, and I don't think that RPO, that really basic offense, is gonna win the ball game and keep us off the field, because our defense is in a lot different state as a unit, and even players individually. At the beginning of the season, he was around the 75-80% mark. Byron Jones, he wasn't really acclimated to right now. I believe he slipped on a route, right? He hurt himself in this game, right? So, Andrew Van Ginkel wasn't playing like he's playing. Zach Seiler, Raekwon Davis wasn't developed like how he's developed right now. So, it's gonna be interesting, guys. So, anyways, we look at the Patriots right now with their injury report, and they got a whole lot of questionables all the way around. Some decent names for them on there too. In terms of, obviously, Lawrence Guy, who was pretty good against us last time. Damian Harris, we'll get into him in a little bit. The rookie Justin Herron, the tackle, he's limited. JC Jackson, one of the better corners. Jonathan Jones, another one of the better corners, but they'll be going probably, from what I understand. Shaq Mason battling a calf injury. James White, JJ Taylor. So they've got a bunch of injuries too. So it's going to be a battle of grit. It's going to be a battle of will. It's going to be a battle of endurance on the gridiron on Sunday, guys. Cannot wait to see how this all transpires, to see how this all goes down. Super, super excited. So there is your injury report, your injury update heading into the weekend, guys. A lot of names on both sides of the list there. How are you doing, Conflict? Appreciate you. Aquavision, how you doing? So it's you know a lot of guys battling nagging injuries, and this is something me and Richmond and Ballgame we talked about on the finish line. You're at a point in the season where everybody's banged up in some way. Some guys are just more banged up than others, but you see the will and the desire to win from the Miami Dolphins players right now. They know how important this game is. It goes back to what we were talking about just a couple minutes ago, where we're in December right now, and we're in a situation where every game up until the playoffs is a playoff game. This is just we got the home field advantage, and we go back to, the Belichick and the Brady era. We haven't seen how they do in Hard Rock without Brady, but during that era, which was a better era than what they look like they're about to enter now, they didn't do so hot at Hard Rock. So it's on our side, guys. And again, I believe we're 2.5-point favorites. So again, favorites for another time this season. It's just a matter of, can we execute from the coaching staff down to every single player on the field this Sunday, because that's what it's going to take to beat this team. There is no doubt about it at all. So, I mean, this is a team where a lot of people are kind of sleeping on the defensive. I mean, they're only allowing 21.5 points per game, are the New England Patriots. That's seventh best in the NFL. They only allow about 352.2 yards per game, which is seventh best in the NFL as a defensive unit. The Miami Dolphins are 21st. We allow about 384.8. But then, we're second in the NFL. We're second best scoring defense. We allow 18.8, so we're better than the seventh. But I continuing on, passing yards, they're seventh best in the NFL against the pass. They only allow about 218.5 yards per game. We're 18th. We allow 242.1. But, Tua, it's going to be a test. It's a defense that's still competent against the pass. You know what I mean? Even if Gilmore's not having the year he was having last year. So, and they know how to run the ball as an offense. I mean, they average 147.5 yards per game as an offense. That's fifth best in the NFL. When you look at yards per game, passing yards, rushing yards, points per game, third down percentage, that's their only stat, out of those five main, in the top 10, let alone in the top 5. Hell, it's the only one in the top 15. So, we can beat this team, but it's going, people sleep on how good their defense is. A lot of it's going to come down to our offense, and, but the defense is going to have to do their part too. But we all know week in, week out, the defense always does their part. It's one of the beautiful consistency and constants about being a Miami Dolphins fan. When you wake up on Sunday, 99% of the time this season, that defense is going to show up to play, right? So, and here's another thing I think people are forgetting. You don't think those are grown men. They got a lot of pride in that locker room. You don't think they want to make right that wrong that happened early on in this year? Now, with playoff implications, that makes it even easier for them to want to get up and get out against the New England Patriots. So, good luck to the New England Patriots offense. So let's get into it. And you know what? With that said, maybe let's get into the defensive keys, guys. Let's get right into defensive keys. What are going to be the keys for our defense that I've identified that the Miami Dolphins are going to have to execute on? The three main keys. So easy. No week 1 repeat versus the run and RPO. Now, when you go back to week 1, guys, the RPO, the read and recognition ability from our defense was just not very good. It wasn't good at all. It needs to be better. hands down. And if it isn't, it's going to be a long day at offense, because also what you didn't see last time was you didn't see Damian Harris. Damian Harris is now the alpha in that running back committee. It's not Sony Michel. He's stand out their best back. And, just like last time, the problem was last time they won the possession battle, and especially in the third quarter, we had the ball under 3 minutes total possession in the third quarter. We couldn't establish a rhythm and even try to attempt to get going till the fourth quarter when it was a little bit too late. You can't let the run game and the RPO game dictate the tempo we play at and the defense we play like they did in week 1. So you just need better reading. Baker was horrible in the read and recognition game against the RPO. Landon Roberts is horrible, but Landon Roberts is a different player than what he was at the beginning of the season. So you can't have a repeat. You just can't, because that's why they won the possession battle. They took air out of our sails. You can't have that. Number 2, you got to force the game into Cam Newton's hands. I mean, you have to make Cam beat you from the pocket and highlight the lack of weapons he has. I mean, we think about how Tua's got no weapons. It's pretty bad over there, other than, Julian Edelman. But, this guy's relying on guys like Keneal Harry, Demiri Boyd, Jacoby Myers. It's not very good over there. So our defense can lock down those guys. I'm not, our secondary can erase them. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about Dalton Keene or whatever tight end they want to light up against Rowe. Let that happen. But, you got to be able to highlight the lack of weapons and show what we all know, that, he has not been able to carry the Patriots one time this season with his arm. He doesn't have that ability. That's not his game right now in this offense. Make them have to make that the game plan. The adjustment at halftime is, damn, guys, we can't get anything going in the run. And this is a playoff number 2. Because when you put the game in Cam Newton's hands, you're gonna win. You're gonna win. I'm not worried about this guy. He averages about 219 yards per game. What is he going to get? 150 yards against us, if that? I believe this defense can hold them under 100 yards. My word. He threw for 67 yards a couple weeks ago. He's only thrown the ball 300 times so far. So force the ball into his hands. And if that means getting takeaways and giving your offense a chance to get ahead early, and now you force that's you playing a part in the defense. So if turnovers fall under that. Now, the next one I'm going to go here is you got to control the line of scrimmage. And you're going to have to win this battle. And Raekwon Davis is a different player. Zach Seiler is playing at a higher level. Jerome Baker is being used well off the line of scrimmage or off the edge in blitzing situations. Christian Wilkins is playing at a very, very high level. I don't care what a grade tells me. He's playing fantastic football. So, Ogba, Lawson, y'all know how much I love me some Ogba. That's my boy. This is a defense, where we generate so many pressures. Ogba is top 10 in pressures and sacks for edge players. We just generate it. But they've only allowed 118 pressures as an offensive unit have the New England Patriots. And, 12 of those have been from Cam. So it's actually 106. That's pretty impressive. And they've allowed 26 sacks as a unit, and 6 of those are at Cam. So they've only allowed 20 sacks and about 106 pressures as a unit. So you're going to have to find a way to manufacture pressure and control the line of scrimmage. This is a line where Joe Thuney is solid. Shaq Mason is fantastic. He's, and I know he's banged up and questionable. David Andrews has been their weak point at times this year. Michael Onwenu, a guy who I was really high coming out of Michigan, who I talked about pre-draft last year, as a potential guard option. There's rookie of the year talk about him. He's a pretty good player too. Isaiah Wynn, when he's in it, he's a good player too. So, you're gonna have to find a way to generate pressure, whether you're gonna have stunt loopers, 4-man, 5-man stunts, whatever the case may be. You're gonna have to find a way to manufacture pressure. I have faith that we can, and you're gonna have to control this line of scrimmage. Do not give an inch to these guys. Beat them up. Make them not want to engage with you. Make them have to hold you on the jersey and on the pads, not get a grip under the pads so you can draw a flag. Frustrate them. Okay? Shift hands out of your way and get across them. Like, make it a nightmare. And I think we can do that. So we'll see how it rolls, but those are my defensive keys to victory heading in to Sunday, and I believe they're all achievable. I think, like I said, this defense especially, guys, now, I know every game matters, and I know you circle every single game on the calendar, but you ain't telling me they didn't have this one circled. Look at how many players are trying to come back and fighting through injury because not only do they know how much this matters, but it's a division rival, and you get a chance to beat the Patriots. I want y'all to think about that. That is something to get up for. And I want to hit you guys with something that Richmond Webb said that I thought was very interesting. He was talking about, when we're talking about the weather and stuff like that and how it can wear down a team, he suggested that this game could actually turn lopsided in the Dolphins' favor simply due to weather if we're able to basically, like I had suggested before I asked him the question, to sustain drives, et cetera, et cetera. And what happens is if you check this out, guys, that's a great point, because I want y'all to think about this. Even without Brady, if we can beat the New England Patriots led by Bill Belichick in any sort of lopsided fashion, guys, they will talk about that as much as they would have talked about us beating the Kansas City Chiefs. You know why? Because it would have showed, A, we came to play, and B, nail in the coffin for the New England Patriots. That would be it. So I'm just saying, people got to recognize that there is a lot on the line, but I truly don't believe this defense, I don't think they're getting over 210 yards like they did last time. I don't see Cam getting 75 yards against us. I just don't. I'm sorry. So, as we get into the offensive keys here, and, just one more thing, it's going to be a trench battle because, like I said, they don't allow a ton of pressure, a ton of hurries. It's going to be Raekwon Davis is going to have to give Andrews an absolute fit, their center. Joe Tooney, you're going to have to basically, loop a man inside him. Ballgame pointed out how we've done a better job recently of shading shoulders, and that's how we've been able to get into gaps a lot more and be more efficient. So it's going to have to continue this weekend, and their offensive line has been able to hold up in quite a sturdy fashion, and it's going to be about, can we shake him and break him? And I truly think the way this defense has been playing, yeah, we can, and I think we just may. So let's keep it rolling. The offensive keys, guys. As we look at offensively, what are the keys to victory for your Miami Dolphins? We got 113 in the room. Smash that like button. So be prepared for anything and everything scheme wise, pre snap and post snap. You know, you may see things Flores is familiar with, but that the Pats haven't put on tape this year. You know, I've talked about this plenty of times leading up to this matchup. I don't think anyone is going to prepare a quarterback under the age of 25 better than Brian Flores, and because that's where he came from, right? So, you know, they have their Tuesday one-on-one Flores Tua study session. I can only imagine what Flores saw, what Tua saw, what they brainstormed, and what they brought to Gailey as, okay, we identified this stuff in terms of potential game plan ideas. So you just got to be prepared because you're going to see stuff you haven't seen on tape yet. I truly believe that because this win would mean a lot for the Patriots, just like it means a lot for us. And in case anyone's curious, Bill Belichick against lefties, you know, while he's coached the Patriots, he hasn't lost. He is actually 4-0. He's beaten Tim Tebow, Scott Mitchell, Chris Sims, and Tyler Palko. So he is actually 4-0 against every single lefty, I believe. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out. Is what it is. Is what it is. I believe we can get it done, but you know, you have to. Yeah, you're gonna have to execute, man. You're gonna have to be prepared as you've ever been so far. And then number 2, you know, keep it spread out. We go back to what I told you guys with that Tua stuff, right? If you guys are familiar with the Tua breakdown yesterday, if you look at Tua in empty formations in 2020, he's 27 of 32 for 242 yards and 1 touchdown. He's got a passer rating of 108.6. Now, if you look at Tua since the Denver game alone, all right, guys, in empty sets, he's 19 of 22, 190 yards, 86% completion percentage, 8.64 yards per attempt. In every other formation clumped together as one stat, he's 35 of 65 for 422, 54% completion percentage, and 6.49 yards per attempt. I'm telling you, just because you saw when you watched the All 22, we were Gailey manufactured space best, obviously, out of empty sets, and that's when it was being most effective for a team that doesn't get separation. You know, this is what I wanted to talk about. I know everyone's excited about Gesicki going. I know everyone's excited about DVP going. But guys, do you remember Fitzpatrick had an aggression rate of above 40, right? Against the New England Patriots in week 1, according to Next Gen Stats, because no one could generate any real separation. Like DVP and Preston Williams and Gesicki all averaged around a yard of separation per route. That's not very good at all. So, you know what I mean? People got to remember those guys didn't create a ton of pressure. So, you know, Bowden, if you look at a lot of the one-on-ones, he didn't create a ton of he didn't manufacture a lot of space either. So those guys didn't create a lot of pressure. Space. Either did Bowden right on one-on-ones on the boundary. He created, you know, space had to be even manufactured for Bowden a little bit more, right? Holland, he got a step on that one pass that he ended up dropping, but Grant is really your main separator. Perry can create separation with his quickness. Gesicki can create momentary separation. It's not going to be long speed separation. So there you go. My bad, Gannon. He's 5-0. He actually beat Mike Vick in 2001 as well. So there you go. 5-0, not just 4-0. So, and remember, he killed the Tebow train. Remember, guys, he was the one who killed it. Now, too, is way better than Tebow. So that's spread it out. You know, we need better separation than we had in week 1. Fans seem to be forgetting how bad the separation was at times in week 1. It was god freaking awful. Every throw felt like a tight window throw. I felt like I was watching Jordan Love at Utah State, throwing everything in a tight window throw, just throwing it sometimes because, okay, that guy has like a quarter of a step on his man. Okay, I got to throw it there. So there you go. And then the running game, guys, it needs to contribute and be a factor, not even a question, I think. You know, it's you can't lean on Tua to throw 50 times again like he did against the Chiefs. Ahmed and Breda are back this weekend. The Dolphins should not only commit to the run, but also should get something going with more capable bodies coming back. You need to use the pass game more out of the backfield. This is a defense you're going to have to create. You're going to have to keep honest because, they do not prioritize, individual pressure, but they manufacture it as a unit if they have to. So the running game, it needs to, it needs to. Wow, I just had a realization of something. It needs, the running game needs to definitely show up. Hands down, there is no question about it. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting because the running game, you're going to need to establish it. And here's my thing, guys. Like my partner Richmond Webb always says on the finish line, if it's 1.5 yards or 2 yards, commit to it. Make them respect it. Make them be honest to it. Do not give up on the run game, okay? You can't. And the offensive line, you are going to have to do a better job in pass pro and run pro. Guess what, guys? Go figure. This week you're going to have to open up holes. You can't sit here and just fully lean on and fully expect Tua once again, to keep this game close. I know we can, but that's not an efficient offense. That is not creating good habits moving forward. It's just not. So it needs to be better than that. I believe we can beat Cam Newton. I believe we can force multiple turnovers. Another thing that's not on here for offensive, but I believe I didn't need to put it up there because I believe it goes without even saying. Guys, Tua is going, I didn't put takeaways on here. I didn't put turnovers on here. But if you remember in week 1, we had 3 turnovers, right? Because he's not going to turn the ball over, knock on wood, like Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to do. So, that's why you don't see don't turn the ball over here. So, and here's another thing that I want to put on here. I got multiple keys I could do for offense. And this goes off the running game, and this goes off with our passing game as well. Continuously sustain drives, guys. Keep their offense off the field to not only gain a rhythm, but gas them out by the third, fourth quarter in this humidity. You're just going to have to do that, man. So, the run game is going to be a factor to that. Sustaining drives is going to be huge in this game, right? So, even if you don't win the time of possession battle, just sustain drives, man. Appreciate you, Martina. Appreciate you, David Nance, for even showing up. Wow, Ronnie, I love it. Ronnie says, Tua gets his 10th TD and X gets his 10th interception in the same game. I agree with you, Ronnie. I'm on board with that, my friend. That is a great call. I love it. So, guys, there's my offensive keys that I've identified for the Dolphins to be successful. And, again, like I went over with the other keys, they are truly, truly achievable. And Got the Itch says, I'm putting my whole life savings on Miami. Hopefully I won't blow my brains out right before Christmas. Got the Itch, 10% finder fee, my friend. Hit me with a 10% finder fee, all right? Appreciate you, though, dude, for coming in here, even being a Broncos fan. I appreciate you. I think this is, 2.5. What do you got? Got the itch. Are you taking the point spread? What are you doing? What are you doing? Props? What are you taking? Because 2.5 all day. Are you kidding me? All day. I agree, Sonny D. If the offense gets their ish together, we'll be good, man. Especially in the run game. They need to help out this running back committee. But here's what I love about Ahmed coming back. The thing I have highlighted about Ahmed is if he doesn't see it inside, he's got the speed and the awareness and the vision where he'll bump it he'll bump it outside, and he's gone off the edge. Breda, for some reason, doesn't have that vision or awareness. He's got that speed. And then Gaskin, he's got that awareness and that vision, but he doesn't have the speed to do that. So that's why I say Ahmed is that mix. He's the in-between of Breda and Gaskin. So I think Ahmed could be a key factor here. And then third down situations, if they're short, you got DeAndre Washington. So exactly, Sonny D, make a hole for goodness sake. Let's go. I don't need like black holes, like gaping, black holes, but like let's help the running game out a little bit here, man. Let's get over 125 yards on the ground this week should be their goal as a unit. So Wuback asks, who are the starting wide receivers? So it looks like DVP is going to be back, brother. Looks like Jakeem Grant, if you go earlier to the injury report, he's going to be back. He's questionable. So it's going to be business as usual. It's going to be your usual guys, a la minus Preston, it seems. Unless on game day they announce Preston is good to go, which from what I understand, he might have been good to go for the past couple of weeks. No one understands why he has not been activated. It might have been deeper injury. So, guys, if you remember a couple weeks ago against the Jets, my matchup to watch was not an on-field matchup. Again, I find myself intrigued by not an on-field matchup. I want to see who's going to play chess, who's going to play checkers. Is the young Padawan going to overtake the Jedi? You know what I mean? Like, you got to ask yourself this. So my match to watch is Bill Belichick against Coach Flo. And it's simple because I got things, Flo. Is your offensive line going to do what it needs to do in run game and pass pro against the stunts, the loopers, the twists, the different post-snap from pre-snap looks and the bag of tricks that Belichick throws at them? Same thing with your quarterback. Is Tua going to be prepared better than what Lamar and Mahomes were in terms of mentally and on a study and preparation basis against his defense? Because there's no excuse. He should be. There's no excuse. Then defensively, Coach Flo, you are a defensive genius. Yes, I will label you as that. Yes, I think you are guru. Yes, I think you could be the best out of the Belichick tree. But did you learn from week one to what their offense did to your defense? Are you ready for the adjustments they make? Because Belichick's expecting you to make the adjustments for what you saw in week one. So are you prepared for the adjustments off the adjustments Belichick's expecting you to adjust for? I can't believe how many times I just said adjustments. But there's a lot of questions for Coach Flo here. So that is where I'm at. I think this is multiple units have questions. So this comes down to coaching. This does not come down to a, Raekwon Davis against Andrews, their center. This does not come down to Christian Wilkins against Tooney. This does not come down to X against Julian Edelman or Keneal Harry. This does not come down to Stephon Gilmore against Tua or DVP. This does not come down to that. This comes down to, did you properly prepare your quarterback and your offensive line for what Belichick has on deck for them? Because we all know Belichick is expecting you to adjust for week one, and then Belichick's going to have adjustments for the adjustments he's expecting you to make. So are you prepared for that? And is your defense ready to handle their running back committee? 210 yards the first time around, guys. That is inexcusable. That needs to change. So, that is why this is my matchup to watch. Hands down. No questions asked. So, yeah, they had 217 yards last time. So, I'm just telling you. And last time we lost the turnover battle 3-1. I'm just saying, Flo. This is your game. Let me put you this way. Flo, this is your game to show everyone I'm not only a Coach of the Year candidate, I'm here to stay in the AFC East, in the AFC, and in the NFL as a contender. And it's time that I surpass the mentor as the protege, and I step into the mentor guy myself. And Flores can now, in 5 years, we can talk about him creating his own tree with guys like Boyer, Godsey, etc., etc. So, this is your chance, Flo. This is your chance. Because you got the weather on your side, a team traveling from Massachusetts. They're going to be dealing with 83, 84 degree Fahrenheit weather, 67 down to 63% humidity. You prepare your offensive line in run sets and the pass pro, and you prepare your young franchise quarterback, which is inexcusable. Like I said, Mahomes and Lamar beat him. I think Tua, as a passer, okay, as a cerebral passer, aptitude level, not rocket arm or speedy legs, is further along than where they were, especially as a rookie. So it's inexcusable, Flo. You should have him prepped. This is chess, not checkers, my friend. Let's go. So I truly believe that, this is the matchup to watch. And this is multiple matchups inside of this match, okay? So, adjustments at the beginning of the game, adjustments at the halftime, adjustments throughout the game, how the offensive line holds up, how Tua looks, because, guys, for Tua, too, individually, if you prepare him well, Tua's going to have a better game than Herbert had against this defense and against Belichick. And I think Tua has the skill set to have a better game and a more impactful game against the New England Patriots than Herbert did, because he throws with anticipation. He's more accurate. He's got enough zip on the ball to make throws at every level. I think he's just a better processor. I think he's a better student of the game. I think he understands the game better. I just think he's a better, a smarter passer. Right? Anticipation, ball accuracy, and ball placement go a lot farther. And his mechanics and his footwork are just things of beauty. I mean, he climbs the pocket to me better than a Herbert does. Herbert doesn't really climb, he exits. So, anyways, that all said, he shows up and he shows out. All of a sudden, now we've got comparisons because, like I said earlier, Belichick's got enough. You give a guy like Belichick 6 games plus the collegiate tape, plus how close Belichick was to that program. I don't know if you guys saw Tua talk this week. Tua knows Belichick too because of how Belichick was close to that program. So he would talk about how Saban would do a lot of similar things to how Belichick did. Now he's under Flo, who does a lot of similar things that Belichick did. Plus, we've got a scout defense, especially in the secondary, that's more than comparable to what they have at New England. So Tua, there is no excuses as to why Tua should not be the most prepared quarterback out of all the quarterbacks under the age of 25 we've seen to face Bill Belichick. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. This is, to me, my matchup to watch. And it's the game inside the game, my friends. It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. Martina, it all depends on what they're going to ask. I think he can play better than Herbert. I don't think that's a question. Let me put it this way. Especially with Jakeem Grant. bread and butter for Tua with the comeback routes. How many comeback routes do you see Herbert throwing? Because he doesn't have that anticipation, that timing. He doesn't have the accuracy, and his mechanics are wonky at times too. So yeah, he's got the arm strength to get the ball to any spot on the field. What's crazy is Herbert has such great deep touch. If you go back to my QB big board, a lot of people are like, oh, you thought he was going to be a bust. Guys, he was my QB4. I had a first round grade on him, but I had a late first round grade on him. That was my only down. I said he had more flags on film than a lot of people did, right? So when you actually break this stuff down, especially mechanically, so mechanically flawed at times, it was disgusting. So, he's making a lot of people look like, oh, but we're also in different offenses, right? We're more horizontal. They're more seam vertical based than we are. I would say the receivers, he's a better fit, and there's receivers. It's just their receivers are doing their weapons are doing a lot more than what our weapons are doing as well. So his offensive line is okay, but people need to realize that Tua would be doing a lot in that offense. And when you're constantly playing from behind, throwing 40, 50 times, yeah, obviously you're going to be throwing for 300 plus yards. Are you crazy? But speaking of, guys, our boy Tua, did y'all see what happened, guys? Tell me y'all saw what happened, right? Did you see what happened? Tua went back to back. All right? Tua Tagovailoa went back to back with 42% of the vote as Pepsi Rookie of the Week. We scroll all the way down here. Shout out to Chase Young. Look at that. We got that high school looking Noxzema Needon, Clear Cell having Justin Herbert over here. Shout out to Antonio Gibson, helped me in fantasy. But then look at this stud. Look at that. Back to back. And look at that. Isn't that the most beautiful set of twins your eyes have ever seen? Oh, boy. That is a beautiful thing. Look at Herbert's all mad because he's falling further and further down the line, baby. Look at that. That's my quarterback. There you go, Josh Williams. Reason, Herbert leads the league in attempts. Color me shocked, Josh. That's all I got to say. I'm just saying, we did it, guys. If you remember, I brought this up. Dude, guys, we had just over 10% of the vote. Tilly remembers. She might remember better because she's been on top of this. Shout out to Tilly. She does a great job in all the Facebook groups, on Twitter, out in here in the comments. She's constantly active. Shout out to you. She might know better. We were at like 13 or 16% when I shouted out. We weren't even at 20%, and this guy rocketed. And shout out to us, man. Shout out to the Dolphins. We deserve this. Let's keep it rolling, man. Let's put up 300 plus, no interceptions. Let's get 3 more touchdowns, and let's roll out these New England Patriots, because I believe, baby, I got my quarterback. All right? That's Tua weeks in a row. If you think about it, he's won Rookie of the Week 2 times already, baby. Let's finish it out. That's my quarterback. All right? I truly believe this man can do it. As usual, guys, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't. If you'd like to donate, paypal.me/Finside, patreon.com/Finside the NFL, $2, $5, $10, $15, $20 levels. Go check them out. Patch5.com, use code Finside for 20% off. There's our teespring.com/stores/Finside the NFL for get official Finside the NFL merch. And then this is the year, 10% off with code Finside. There you go. But I mean, let's keep it rolling, baby. Tua is that dude. Tua is that man. I don't know what else to say. So we're going to get into my prediction. Now, backstory. I just did the finish line, which again, you can find on iTunes, on Spotify right now. Just search Dolphins Brawl. Okay. And then it's going to pop up and it's the episodes under there. Go check them out. So anyways, I just did that with Richmond and the homie Mr. Ball Game. Now, my original take was going to be It was going to be 24-17 Miami Dolphins. All right. That was going to be my original prediction. Then Richmond went off and did it. So Reason thought to himself, well, what would my next prediction be? My next prediction now turned into, all right, well, I'll do 27-14 because, you know what I mean? The weather, the lopsided. I was like, okay, good point. Changed it. What does ball game come with? 27-14. So I went the middle route. Reason's prediction is the 27 of the second prediction for Miami and the 17 of the first prediction for New England. I'm predicting a 27-17 Miami Dolphin win. I think I think their touchdowns will come off the run game. If that, I wouldn't be surprised if we held them to 10 points. That wouldn't surprise me. This is my prediction. Jazza, you got, I love it. He's predicting 35-13 Miami. Tua throws for 350 and 4 touchdowns. Love the optimism, my friend. But I mean, this is my prediction. I'm going 27-17 Miami Dolphins. I believe the defense is going to come up. They're going to show. I believe the takeaway streak is going to continue in terms of games into its 20s. I believe, I forget who it was earlier said, I believe X is going to hit that 10th touchdown. I believe the homie Tua is going to throw his 10th plus more. I think it's going to be a good day at the office. I was worried about this early on, but you watch how Tua is identifying blitzers, picking up the stunts. We just need a better job from the offensive line. Karras calling out protections, communicating, sliding protections. Austin Jackson, Kinley, they need to do a better game. Martina, give me your prediction, guys. Todd says 24-10 Miami. Martina says 23-14, 2 picks by X. Wooback says 27-17 sounds about right. Reason 27-21 is what Powerhouse says. So that's my prediction, guys, heading into this. That's my Gaza, the record is like 14. And that was like in 1952. So I don't think he's hitting that, but I will say this. He's tied currently with Tim Jennings as the only 2 corners in the last decade to have 9 interceptions. If with a 10th interception, he will be the only corner in the last decade to have double-digit interceptions in a season. He's actually already surpassed Gilmore in terms of he's tied his interception mark, and Gilmore had like 21 pass breakups, and I think he's at 17 right now. So he's like he's basically already tied with Gilmore's defensive player of the year numbers got him. So all right, let's keep it rolling. I want to see some of yours. So Finn's Knights is 15-19. Finn's up all day, all field goals. Daniel Grafton says 17-3 Miami. Kieran says 24-14 Miami Dolphins. Love it, guys. Jose says reason, realistic prediction. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. So it was even more realistic. It was supposed to be 24-17, but the homie Richmond stole that. So and I saw someone take a swipe at the fact on some low grade, no one cares about channel about my show with Richmond and said, oh, Richmond will talk with anybody. Well, guess what? You know what? He won't talk with anybody. He'll talk about people who know the game inside and out. And you know what? I learned things about Richmond, and Richmond will tell you that he learned things from me and my capability of watching film. So I heard what you had to say, dude. And you know what? You'll always be small time. You'll never be more than small potatoes. And you know what? Small potatoes ain't nothing more than fries. And over here, it ain't nothing but a nice 32-ounce ribeye, medium rare, done to your liking with some mashed potatoes on the side because we mash out those fools. And I'm just saying, I hear it, but you ain't, I don't gotta drop some hove on y'all, but I'm telling y'all, smash y'all ants with a sledgehammer. I'm just saying. So you need to ease up. You need to ease up. So, and you need to go educate yourself. Go watch that. You might learn something, my dude. So, anyways, continuing on. I think Roy Crosby, the defensive player of the year, is actually TJ Watt's got to be in it. So, Irving says 31-17 Dolphins, Tua 3 TDs and 320 passing yards. Josh Williams says 32-13. Deuce says 34-17 Dolphins. Sam says 30-17 Dolphins. Appreciate you, Woo, back. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. 24-6 Dolphins is what Juggernaut says. Ronnie, I always cook it, baby. Well done. Well done for that, but I don't like my steaks well done. Y'all come over here for that AAA quality content, not that low grade, you know what I mean? Get at a diner flank steak that's, a $2 steak. So, Canes 538 says 28-20. Raging Dolphins Maniac says, I'm going big 35-3. I love the optimism. Poppy Chulo, again, optimistic. I love it, guys. 43-10. Man, hey, the homie Richmond Webb said it could get lopsided, so you can't deny it could get it. So, he says, Jose says, I think it's an even matchup. Keys to victory, turnovers. All right, and I like us winning they're not going to get the turnovers like they got in week 1. They're not going to get the extra drives like they got in week 1 that Fitz gave them, whether it was the DPI on Gesicki near the end, whether it was Preston slipping on his route, whether it was Fitz's fault or not, because the second interception was his fault. But Tua ain't going to give them those chances. He ain't going to give them those chances. So, Ronnie says 17-10 Dolphins win. I love it, man. Chris Solo says Finns will end the Pats playoff run. Love it, man. Love it. Love it. Miami Kid J. Dolphins versus Patriot games are always a dogfight. 20-13 fish. Love it. Joe B, the homie Joe B. Salute, my dude. How you doing, homie? I haven't seen you in a bit, I feel like. He says 24-13. Miami Dolphins. Havoc says 30-13. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. So, Jeff Osmond says, what weapons are we without for this game? Doesn't look like any, man. If you go back to the injury report, I'll bring it up for you guys quickly so you can see it just one more time. And you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. You'll see it's not doom and gloom in terms of when you take a look at the injury report. It's actually not that bad. So let me get this off. When you look at the weapons and what to expect, again, look at the injury report. Everyone's really questionable, my friend. Limited Roberts and Vanoy, your two best run stopping linebackers are back. Devontae looks like he's going to try and go. Gesicki's already basically indicated he's going to go. Jakeem's trying to go. Bobby's going to go. You got Breda and Jamal Perry just activated off COVID. Eric Flowers looks like he's going to be good to go. Salvin Ahmed's going to be good to go. So it's going to be about what weapons do we have back, my friends. And it's been a long time coming to be able to say that. So, it is what it is, man. Yes, Martina Gesicki is available, it seems. So beautiful, beautiful thing. I cannot wait till Sunday to see, here's the thing. I want to see what this, like I said, this team has realized that they're in the middle of the playoff fight. And they're also against a division rival. That's why we see so many guys that are banged up, really banged up, because everyone's banged up at this point of the season. But the guys who are really banged up trying to fight through those injuries because they know how much this game means, especially if somehow, some way the Patriots lose out or the Patriots lose and it comes down to conference stuff, right? So this will matter. So, I mean, you're going to have to You're going to have to be on point. So it's nice to see everyone's recognizing that. They understand how big this game is, and I feel like they're going to come to play. They better not come out flat. I'm going to be very, very disappointed if this team comes out flat. Because if this team comes out flat, their playoff chances are going to slip right through their damn fingers. We are now entering. I told y'all before the Chiefs game, and some people pushed back because scenarios can still play out that we control our own destiny. Now we really control our own destiny because you win out, you're in. So you got to come to play. There's no falling asleep for the second quarter, the third quarter. You can't. It's now time, especially offensively, from Chan all the way down to the offensive line, to the receivers getting separation, to the running backs, even to Tua making proper reads and making throws. We need to string together 60 minutes of football this game and 180 minutes over the next 3 weeks to really put us in a position to make some noise in the playoffs. Truly. This is not a time for doggers. This is not a time for slackers. Right? It's time to get it done. And that's why the matchup to watch was Coach Flo and Belichick. Because it starts with you, Belichick and Flo. Flo, did you get your offensive line prepared for the adjustments off of week 1, but then the adjustments Belichick's going to throw at you off the adjustments he expects you to make from week 1? Is your quarterback going to be prepared like we all expect him to be prepared? Because it's inexcusable that he's not prepared better than what Mahomes and Lamar were when they beat Belichick. He should be the best prepared quarterback under the age of 25 we've seen. Period. All the stuff that the New England Patriots haven't put on tape this year, Flores is the one who knows, they might use this, they might use that. Let's see. And then defensively, have you convinced that unit, especially that front seven, that as men, it's time to fight for pride and dignity and not allow the Patriots to take their pride and dignity over 217 yards gained like they did in week 1? Have you made the proper adjustments? Because the secondary is going to take care of itself. So that's what it's going to come down to. Truly believe. So, I mean, I'm praying we don't come out flat. I really am. Ronnie O says Swiss cheese has more holes than our O-line. I don't know. Our O-line is giving Swiss cheese a good run for its money in terms of who's got more holes. Josh, I want to see 100 from Salvin Ahmed. I'm ready. This is the game. Like, give me my 100-yard back. Are we going to go really a full season without not one game with a 100-yard back? I need a 100-yard back this game. This is the game. Chan Gailey needs to commit enough to it, and the offensive line needs to do their job. Havoc says, I hope Atlanta Roberts gets a good night of sleep before he sees the Pats again. Yeah. Memories of the choke slam are dancing in Landon's head. Finn's up next. What's my thought on Jamar Chase? He's my wide receiver 5, my friend. Don't buy the hype. Waddle and Smith are my 1A, 1B. In terms of what we need, right? In terms of what we need if you're going subjective, Rashad Bateman is actually my wide receiver 1. But in terms of what this offense needs, we need Devontae Smith or a Rondell Moore or Jalen Waddle. Devontae Smith is going to run a 4.45 range, probably 40, but he's just a way better natural separator and way better yak ability. He uses his body a lot better against defenders with elusiveness wise than Jamar Chase can. Jamar Chase is more of a ball tracker. and a big catch radius guy. He's kind of like Devontae. It's just he's 6'1.5". Basically, he's just under 6'1". If I want that, I'd get Rashad because I think Rashad Bateman's a better separator, natural separator than what Jamar Chase is. Jamar Chase, if you watch his tape last year, really, really benefited from manufactured pressure. That's why he wasn't really on a lot of guys' radars the year before that. So don't buy the hype. Rondell Moore, he's 5'9". He's your prototypical slot, but you're not going to get him. I think he might fall because of his size. He's 5'9". I think Jalen Waddle is Tyreek Hill 2.0. So I think he's, if he comes back in the playoffs and has a combine, he could legitimately be the first receiver off the board. I think it's going to be him or Devontae Smith because I think Devontae Smith, like I said, he uses his frame so well when usually a lot of guys his size don't. So Devontae Smith is special. He's arguably the best SEC receiver ever. So I Waddle and Smith and Rondell Moore and even Bateman are guys I would take before Jamar Chase. And Bateman is my wide receiver 1 subjectively, but I would still take, as a Dolphins, Waddle, Smith, and Rondell Moore over the investment on Bateman. I think Waddle makes the most sense, but Devontae Smith, I keep circling back to his chemistry. You look at how good of a separator he is at 4.45, but the chemistry, you can make the argument that's to his favorite target ever. And you cannot put a scouting report or an evaluation on that. That is special. You can't put a value on that. That is the invaluable stuff you look for. I think KC does raging. Finn's up next. Who do I think they're going to select? I think they're going to go wide receiver. I think also center and tackle are going to be on the board for sure in the first round. Ideally, I signed Juju in the offseason. I turn around and I draft my Waddlers, my Smith. I double up on my receiver. And then I come back and I get my Creed Humphrey, or I get a Christian Darrisaw, or I get a Jackson Carman. Someone's sitting there. If Carman slips, I think it'll be a first round. I get there, I get another tackle, or I get that center with Creed. Then I come back, and then I start feeling like I need a middle linebacker. I need that 2 down, run stuffing, gap filling, nose tackle. I also need a running back because Brady's going to be gone. So, there's a lot of options. We can play the draft as we want. A lot of games to be played here. We need safety depth big time. Big time. And there's a lot. I love the safety classes. I've told y'all. Love the linebacker class too, especially in the middle. I don't think we need edge help like some people are trying to convince you guys like we do. We could use outside linebacker help, but I don't think that's good enough for the first round. So, but Waddle is, and then Jazza wants to know right now that Houston pick, right now in the first round, guys, the Miami Dolphins, that Houston pick is the 7th. And then our other first round pick right now, it is 21. So right now we pick at 7 and 21. All right. So guys, I will be back on Sunday. The game starts at 1:00. I will be back here around 12:30, and we will be good to go. And and I would take Micah Parsons. Here's my thing, guys. I want to prep everyone here. Let me stop on this. Okay, guys, before I sign out here, I've been trying to tell all y'all. Remember, I was the one who put a lot of y'all on the other platform onto Micah Parsons when no one was talking about him. No one was talking about Parsons. And I was talking about him during the last draft class, okay? So let's put respect on that. First thing, no one knows Parsons in this community better than I know him. Number 2, he's not a true middle linebacker, guys. This is where the decision has to come down to if you want to invest that top 10 pick. He is not a true middle linebacker, guys. He is a far more elite version of what Jerome Baker gives you right now. He's a converted defensive end to an outside linebacker. Coverage is his weakness, guys. You don't understand. He's not a playmaker in coverage. Coverage is his weakness. Right now, rushing off the edge, rushing off between tackles sounds similar, right, to how I say deploy Baker. That's where he's really good. And he can blow up the run game like that too. He's better in the run game. He has better instincts. That's why he will be. Like I keep telling y'all, if you draft him, he's primarily going to be used on the outside, and then he's going to get reps on the inside. Whereas in 2 to 3 years, then you use him in the inside and give him then reps on the outside. You see what I'm saying? So he's not a true middle Mike right now, guys. He's not a true middle linebacker. That's Dylan Moses, who struggled at times this year. Chaz Surratt. You know what I mean? Xavien Collins is more of a middle linebacker, prototypical middle linebacker in this defense right now. One of my personal man crushes, Nick Bolton from Missouri. That's a guy, that's a prototypical middle linebacker. So I want people just to know what the expectations of. I'm letting y'all know early, and I'll continue hammering it in the offseason. But Micah Parsons is not a true Mike yet. I just want everyone to know that. Right? He will take a little bit of work. He will get there, and he will be elite, but he will take work. All right? Just letting everyone know. Temper expectations. And if you watch tape on him, you'll see what I'm talking about. All right? But his instincts are through the freaking roof. So you love it. All right. And he's amazing in the run game. All right, guys. Anyways, I will see you on Sunday. All right? I will see you on Sunday. Around 12:30, half hour before the game starts. And as always, guys, it's Fins Up all day, every day. Pound that like button, hit that subscription if you're new here, and then hit that little notification bell to get notifications when I go live. But until then, y'all already know what time it is. It's Fins Up all day, every day. Stay happy, healthy, safe.